Welcoming Kendall Grove back here to the program. The Spider. He's in Maui, Hawaii right now, getting ready to fight Alexander Shlemenko coming up here. Bellator 162, Memphis, Tennessee, October 21st. Pretty good card. Pretty good card. Obviously, he's 53-9. You're 23-15. It's the first time in a long time that you're actually going to fight somebody that has more experience than you inside the cage.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. Hey, all jokes aside, he's a great fighter. He's proved that. He's a former champion, a former reigning champion. I got my work cut out for me in this one, and it's a big name. It's a tough name, and I'm excited. I'm up for the challenge, and I'm excited. I can't wait.
You've obviously watched a ton of his fights. He's been around for a pretty long time. Did you see, what did you learn from his loss to Brandon Hazley, and what did you learn from his victory that he had in his last one? He's been fighting over an M1 challenge the last couple of fights.
I've seen his last couple fights.
So, did you learn anything from those victories over Vasily?
From what I've heard and what I've seen, his downfall is his ground. Obviously, he's a tremendous striker, heavy-handed. He knocks people out. He likes spinning back fists and kicks. He throws it repetitively, especially in his last two fights, and he'll just throw it. He pressures. He's a bully in a good way. He to close the distance. He's not the tallest guy, and obviously I'm way taller than him. So I'm sure he's going to try and pressure me against the cage to tee off body shots and look for the knockout. But definitely he doesn't do too well on the ground. Obviously getting submitted by Jose pretty quick, losing his title, and then also with Tito. But Tito is a much, much bigger fighter than he was. Obviously, I had the privilege of fighting on the same card as him in Utah, and he pretty much walks around at his weight, and as do I now. So hence all the testosterone. I felt he needed that edge. He was getting overpowered by bigger wrestlers, so I think he shot up and he got caught. But that didn't stop him. He fought overseas. He had what I thought he lost the first fight, and then when he rematched the guy the second time, he clearly beat him with that guillotine. But no, he's tough. He's durable, and it's going to be a tough fight for me. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, it's going to be an easy fight for me. No, I'm going to have to come in the best Kendall Grove possible and stay sharp, stick to the game plan, stick to what's been working for me my last couple fights, and keep them at the end of my punches. A lot of good footwork, what I've been training pretty much for the last year and a half, 2 years, and apply it, and come October 21st, hopefully, and my hand is being raised, and on to the next one.
This is a little background story for the folks at home. Shlemenko got caught cheating with performance-enhancing drugs after the Melvin Manhoff fight. That fight was put to a no contest, and then he waited a year and then fought overseas. He fought in Russia twice, back-to-back, and that's the two fights that he was talking about, that Kendall was talking about, that he clearly thought that he lost the first one, but then clearly wins the second one. But on his record, he wins both. But majority decision the first one, and obviously a guillotine choke for a no questionable, victory come the second time through. That year off seemed to hurt him quite a bit, actually. And then, you get that year to kind of get yourself cleaned up while you're on suspension, but he's fighting overseas. Do you feel like, he did wait out his suspension. He had like a 9-month suspension. He didn't fight during that time. But did you feel like that he kept fighting overseas specifically to take time off so he could get clean before he came back to the States, where there was a drug testing commissions?
Yeah, no, one, like, obviously I'm a fighter. If I get suspended or whatnot, you're going to want to fight, and kudos to him that he lives in Russia, or overseas where, he can, and not get, not see any consequences to it. But, kudos to him and his team, man. They found a loophole. It was supposed to be a 3-year suspension, but, I guess the commission fudged up, and, now he's back after a year. It was ridiculous. It was 50-1. And now I'm just educated. I don't give a fuck if he's juiced out of his mind when we fight. Like, a fight's a fight. And if you need that shit, you need it. If not, fuck it. Let's do, like, I'm a born fighter. I'm gonna fight. And but other than that, you cheated, dude. Like, you know what I mean? You got caught with your hand in a cookie jar. 50-1. That's unbelievable. But in his head, he's weak. He needed it for an edge for some reason. I don't know the reasons, but I hope we're on the even playing field, and may the best man win come October 21st, live on Spike TV in Bellator's main event.
Kendall's talking about 50-1 as testosterone and epitestosterone. They allow a limit of 4-1. And when Alistair Overeem got caught, he was 17-1, which is extremely high. It was like almost like he injected that week and then got tested and got caught. 50-1 is like a ratio like you injected the night before and then got tested. Like, he
injected it right before he walked out.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount to be in your system. Like, that's like pro bodybuilding size. Like, the big heavyweights are at that level. Trying to get as much muscle mass as possible. So that ratio was crazy, and it should have been a 3-year ban. And with the new regs and the new regulations, I agree. It should have been a 3-year. It should have been a little bit longer, but the commission, the way they did the testing, screwed up, and so he found a loophole and got out of it. Had a year suspension, a 9-month suspension, and now he's, like Kendall said, he's back. This is a big fight for you. This is a huge fight for you. You can actually lay your mark on this guy and prove that fighting clean your entire career is like the way to do it. Like, that's how it is. Like, you're still around. You've been fighting, like I said, this is the first time in a long time you're fighting someone who has more ring experience than you, but you're 23 and 15. You've been competing as a professional since 2003. I mean, that's a long-ass career. I mean, you've been doing it clean the entire time through the days when everybody was cheating. Everybody was on something. Like, there was like maybe 90% of the fighters were on something and 10% were fighting clean, to now where everyone's got to be clean. Like, you've survived that whole space. That's a long time to survive that entire time. Have you seen, I mean, obviously you physically have seen with your eyeballs, you've seen the change in the fighters. Have you felt the change when you get inside the ring? You look at an old fight on somebody and go, wow, this guy is an animal. And then you go and fight him. You're like, oh yeah, obviously he's off his juice because I'm beating the crap out of him.
Not really. 'Cause I feel a lot of the guys I fought were clean, except obviously Jose. He tested clean, but obviously he's not anymore. He's, I don't know. I see it now. Obviously, Vitor. You look at the pictures of him of old and of recently, of when he was terrorizing everyone in Brazil, and then you look at him now, it's just a big difference. It's your body not responding to what it's used to, it needs that help to perform at that level. And now, like Gegard Musashi said, thank God for USADA, you know what I mean? Like, it's cleaning up the sport, and it's making guys who looked title contenders and falling out of the ranks. Obviously Vitor Belfort is one of them where you noticed it, but now you see a lot of guys who were up there is now falling at the wayside. A lot of Brazilians, and a lot of previous fighters that were making headways. But now I think USADA and athletic commissions are doing a good job at recognizing that and just cleaning up the sport. Either ban it or make it legal so everyone can do it. But other than that, we're in a rough spot. I think in the next couple of years, it's going to be a completely clean sport, and we're pretty much almost there, especially now the suspensions is coming down. Obviously, Shlemenko found a loophole. God bless him. Hey, right on for doing that. Kudos to you and your career for making that happen. But in the long run, more and more people get caught is going to pay. Some of it is career ending. You get suspended for 5 years. Fuck, a lot can happen in 5 years. You get suspended for 3 years. A lot can happen in 2 years. So I think it's great for the sport, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully I'm not around in 2 years. Hopefully I'm retired and happy in 2 years, but right now, still fighting, and I got Shlemenko. I hope so. I hope I've accomplished everything that I wanted to, which is win a world title in Bellator, in the organization that I'm at. I got 6 beautiful kids, a beautiful wife. I live in Hawaii. You live in fucking Hawaii. It's a great state to just chill. You adapted that lifestyle. It's a great lifestyle, and I grew up in it. And I love fighting. It is a job to me, and it is just awesome that I'm doing something that I love to make an income. But at the end of the day, I want to watch my kids grow. I want to play with my kids, and I want to help them achieve their goals. And right now, fighting is a selfish sport. Like my wife this is my last hard week of training. My wife just took all my kids to Oahu to get out of my hair this last week so I could fucking dial in and focus. And it's great, but it also sucks, for my wife to have to do that. And obviously she's visiting family and stuff like that. And my kids are off of school for the week. But as a father, as a parent, it sucks. As a fighter, it's good. But it kind of gets kind of shitty, and over the years, I've grown to need my family. But this is a big fight. This is an important fight for me. And to accomplish what I got to accomplish before I exit this sport. And, I hope, but I want to not retire with regrets. And I'm just doing the sacrifices that I got to do now to accomplish my dreams and leave my mark on this sport as a fighter coming out of Maui, Hawaii. I'm one of the only guys to be still doing it and one of the only guys to make it at the level I have, and being a representative to Hawaiian fighters. And I just want to leave my mark, and I hope I can do it within the next 2 to 5 years. So, yeah.
Did you spend your entire training camp in Maui, or did you go back to the mainland to train?
No, I stayed here on Maui. I flew in one of my longtime friends, JQ. He came out for my last camp, and he mimics Shlemenko really good. He's like about 6'1", big boy, 230, hits hard, does all the spinning stuff. He was out here for 2 weeks, and yeah, I set up a cage in my garage, mats. I got a good jiu-jitsu spot out here in Maui Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of black belts, a lot of good wrestlers out here, and I was supposed to go out with Bisbee when he his last 2 weeks here last 2 weeks in Orange County, but I couldn't. Family needed me here, so yeah, I stayed. But camp's been good, positive. My last camp I was here at Maui the whole time, and I seen good results. Just better on my mind. I've been training hard my whole career. I've been fighting for pretty much 15 years, and I know how to fight already. It's just getting my mind right, dialing it in, and sticking to the game plan and going out there and performing. And as long as my cardio is good, my chin's good, and my confidence is good, and I don't think nothing can stop me except for myself. You know what I mean? If I go in there and fight Hawaiian, then I give them a chance. But if I stick to what God has blessed me with, then I know I can win this fight.
Let's go back and talk about Bisping for a second. Did you watch his fight last night with Dan Henderson?
I was, but I couldn't, man. I was too nervous. I just read the play-by-plays on Twitter, and he looks nuts. I talked to him right after the fight, but yeah, it seemed like it was a war, and yeah, he. If you looked at it, it looked like Dan won. Obviously, Mike got he's all bust up, but apparently 3 judges didn't see it that way, and my boy's still the champ.
Yeah, you would have an argument if one of the judges swapped, or if there was a weird split decision, but all 3 judges saw it pretty much the same way. So you have to go, even if you don't agree with the judges, 3 people outweigh your one opinion, and
Yeah. And no, I see it. And from what a lot of people were saying in the play-by-plays, the aggressiveness, and after the first round, Dan slowed down a lot. I mean, he still was throwing big shots, but I think the aggressiveness and pushing forward and staying in his face and coming at him ultimately did it, and I mean, you can't take anything away from Dan. Mike's my boy, but fuck, you got to give it up. You got to give respect where respect's due, and Dan's gonna go down definitely as one of the best American fighters, possibly the best, to do it, and fuck, respect to the H-bomb himself. He had a great career, fought the who's who. The guy fucking took out Fedor. The guy held 2 belts at Pride, and nothing will, this fight won't damage his legacy. This fight, I just thank you, Dan Henderson, for an awesome career. And yeah.
Yeah, the things that people don't realize about Henderson is that when he was holding both Pride belts, it was when Pride was in its heyday and had the best fighters in the world at those weight classes, and he was the top of the heap. Then Strikeforce, he wins that belt, and that was when Strikeforce was the top of the heap and had the best fighters in the weight class. So he was transcending the sport. He's definitely, there is an argument to be made for him being the best American fighter of all time at this point, because his career was so long. Obviously, that probably won't hold up in the next 5-6 years because the sport's getting older. But right now, Henderson's probably one of the best guys America ever had, and definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure. He's got a Hall of Fame storied career, and Bisping took it to him. I had it scored for Henderson. That's the way I scored it. But I was at my buddy's house in Hawaii, drinking scotch, watching the fight with other people in the room. I wasn't judging ringside with my ears plugged, just watching the fight, trying to score it. So who knows where I was right and where I was wrong, The judges saw it the other way. All 3 saw it the other way. So they're right, obviously, and I'm completely wrong. And that's just how it is. Awesome job by the count. Awesome job. I was surprised that I actually honestly was expecting you to be be in Orange County watching the fight someplace. Like I expected you to be out there for the end of his training camp. So what happened? You said your family needed you to stay in Maui.
No, well, it just, I mean, I got 3 kids in school now. My wife gave me the okay. Like, she's like, okay, go. Mike's coming back from England. He said, come on down, and I was gonna go, and then last minute it was my decision. Like I couldn't just leave my wife by herself with a fucking newborn. My son is like 3.5 months now, but at the time, like, even though she said yes, I was like, fuck, I can't do that. Like I got responsibilities here, and regardless, like, yeah, this is a big fight, but fuck, at the end of the day, your family is all you got. Like when the fans forgot about you, when the companies fire you, when you have nothing, your family's all you got. So I had to make a decision. I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I get good training here. I can fly in trainers. I can fly in sparring partners, and that's what I did. And it worked out. Like I said, my last camp, it worked out. I know how to fight already. I've been fighting my ass off at the highest level for the last 10 years. And now it's, like I said, now it's just getting in shape, being smart, and learning how to think on the fly. And I get all that here. I got good coaches here. I got good jiu-jitsu partners, good wrestling partners, and like I said, I flew in a great striker and who mimics Shlemenko really good, hits hard, hits like a motherfucker, and I'm good. My brain's good. I'm ready for this fight. I'm in shape. I can fight tomorrow, but I got one good hard week left and fight week next week or the following week, and only time will tell, Frank. It's a fight game. It could be a bitch sometimes, but fuck it. It's a fight. It's what we live for. That's why we were put on this earth. There's only a few of us that can handle this shit, and you've done it. I'm still doing it, and one day, the younger, fucking, stronger fucking guy will be saying the same thing I'm saying, and, yeah.
That's Kendall Grove getting ready to fight Alexander Shlemenko coming up here. Bellator 162, October 21st. Kendall, thanks so much, man, for hitting us up on a Sunday. Obviously you said your family's up on Oahu right now while you're still in Maui. I was expecting to hear the kids running around in the background because I know Sunday's a family day for you. So,
yeah. Hey, Frank, when you got 6, every day is a family day.
Are you done? Are you gonna go for the 8? Are you done now having kids? Or are you gonna try and go for 8?
Yeah, I'm done. I got a vasectomy. Right after my last fight.
Smart man.
Yeah. That was the most responsible thing I ever did in my life. If not, me and my wife would have had fucking 10, But we can't keep ourselves off each other.
That's good, especially with all those kids. You still have that kind of passion. That's an awesome way to live.
Yep. Living the dream here in Hawaii.
Yep. It is paradise. We have to admit that. It is paradise. Kendall, thanks so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it. Have a great rest of your training camp. We'll talk again later on.
All right. Thanks, Frank.